nice to be have these people volunteer time to make our night a little bit special, to help us focus on the fact that it's the city, the Mustang pride, that's what we're all about up here. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Reverend Dr. Dick Swan to give an invocation. You would?
This is sort of like being at a Notre Dame rally, and it's great. Except I went to BU.
Don't hold that against it.
I'm going to give you a speech and then a prayer. Okay, I'm going to give you a speech and then a prayer. The speech is this. I've had the pleasure to be able to coach for a couple of years one of the Babe Ruth teams here in town. And it's interesting to see the kinds of developmental issues that arise. I happen to be a psychologist as well as a clergy person. You know, sports teaches people skills that are necessary for life. Among those skills, teamwork, the ability to work with people who are better than you, not as good as you, to become a team together, the ability to lose. We all need to know how to lose before we can know how to win. The ability to assess our own skills and to work hard to develop our own skills. And then finally, the ability to develop social skills. When you participate in a team, those things get learned. And sometimes we take for granted that those things get learned. And it's interesting. I'm not sure that happens in an era where kids sit in front of television sets and Nintendo games and computers. The skills that are taught through sports are really critical. I come as a representative of a group of people in this community, and I specifically mean the clergy in this community, and the members of the churches who truly care about kids. We recognize that the issues in this community are significant, as they are in any community, and the best wish that we can bring to any kid is to help them reach for their own humanity in the best possible way. You share in a very important and significant way in that task. And you support it by being here, by being active in the community. You support it in important ways. And I want to thank you for all that you do to help make sports possible in this community. I know that the Mustang Club now is, how do you want to call it? This is the second banquet, the first anniversary or whatever. This is a group of people along with all of those people who are posted up on the walls and all of those people who are around in this building who have year after year cared for the kids of our city. And we do thank you for that. Will you pray with me for just a moment? Gracious God, we come together as a people committed to the life of our community and specifically to the life of the kids of our community. We pray that you will support us as we seek to support them. Help us to learn to do our job better. Help them to learn to be better human beings. Be with us now as we gather on this night to celebrate. Celebrate sports in this community and celebrate those who lead the youth of this community. Be with us as we gather and help us to continue our commitment to all that is yet to be. Amen.
I'd like you all to help us sing God Bless America. Please try and find a seat if you wish to stay. Those who haven't been seated yet. Give you a little bit of a background to the Mustang Club, who we are. In the fall of 1995, the immediate past president, Marty Murphy, invited several of us to the Touchdown Club in Arlington. From that beginning, I now proudly stand here in front of almost 100 members. Members of the Mustang Club who are dedicated to the promotion of the physical, social, and scholastic welfare of the youth of Medford. Our first guest speaker was Hall of Fame member John Hanna. And last year, Coach Jim Reed came up from Richmond to present the first two awards celebrating Mustang Pride. Erin McLaughlin's here now. She received an award last year, along with Daniel Caruso. Tonight culminates another year of activities designed to invigorate our community with that spirit that brought all of us here, that Mustang Pride. The 4 young adults being honored here tonight deserve the awards. They represent what is best about this city. They have a sense of involvement, caring, and pride for the community. Our community, the city of Medford. Since inception, $4,000 in contributions, and it continues to be a booster club for all the sports in the city. Last week, over 80 senior athletes were given their letter in the form of a plaque at the annual M Club Banquet, something that hasn't been done in over 10 years. The homecoming game in the fall of '96 will stand as the first of what will become the biggest community event every fall. Next month, the Mustang Club will continue its commitment of community involvement at the Clipper Ship Days. With your continued support, we will be able to grow as a club, helping future Mustangs. I want to welcome you all here in our focus and our path to that end. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second annual Mustang Club of Medford Awards Banquet. It's good to see so many of those who were here last year with us again this year, and also a good number of new faces. The sold-out sign went out sooner this year than last year, and we really appreciate the support that the public has given the club. We're honoring some fine young people. We're going to recognize during the course of the evening some senior citizens. You know, when you look out in the group that we have here tonight, you see so many people who do so many things for so many people. You have coaches, you have people who work for youth leagues, you have people who work for charities, for civic groups. And a lot of them I know personally, and I certainly would like to recognize everyone here tonight who do that. You want to acknowledge right off the bat the fine dinner that we had here by Marty Pagliarulo. Marty, as you know, president of the club, he's done so much to get this club going. He's really been a spark behind it. It's off to a good start. It's getting bigger. It's getting stronger. Incidentally, Marty was a guy who arranged for that impromptu band invasion here. Some 20 members of the high school alumni band. we thank them and their director, Marcia Cameron, for the coming out here tonight. We appreciate that. I thought I gave it a great touch. But Marty, I want to recognize Marty, because he's the guy that really makes this thing happen. Marty? We also have some hard-working club officers, and I'm going to call out the names of those who aren't participating in tonight's program. Our recording secretary, Joe Fortunato. Joe? Dennis Remo. Dennis. Our assistant treasurer and a hard worker, Craig Snellen. And also with us tonight, and we're happy to see him come into the hall, a gentleman in Mustang Hall of Fame, a man who played football, hockey, and baseball for Medford High School in the mid-30s. He's been under the weather this past winter, but he's making a great recovery, and it's good to see him here. He's a longtime fan. He turns out for the game whenever he can. He's been a generous and loyal supporter. I'd like to present Maury Carroll Sr. And while we're on the subject of the Mustang Hall of Fame, I'm told that the group is seeking nominations for next fall's award. If any of you know of athletes that you think merit being named to that Hall of Fame, submit your applications directly to the high school, Mustang Hall of Fame, and Chair Medford High School, and they will be entered into competition. Thank you. One of the best friends that Mustang athletes have here at the high school is the faculty advisor of the varsity Epsilon, the student organization that covers all of the athletes. The former Mustang himself, he's an assistant football coach and a junior varsity baseball coach. He's always helpful, always cooperative, always willing to help. And I'm pleased to introduce him for a few words, Mark Smith. Mark?
Thank you, Al. Before I get started, I just want to make one announcement. Next Saturday, May 31st, we're going to have the first annual Medford High School alumni baseball game. Any former Medford High School baseball players who are here tonight, or if you know any of your classmates who want to come down, next Saturday, we're going to try to make this an annual thing at Plaisted Park at 11 o'clock. Next Saturday, the 31st, we invite all former Medford High School baseball players to come down to an alumni game. The reason I'm up here tonight is last Tuesday night we had our annual M Club banquet. For those of you who are former Medford High School athletes, you remember the M Club banquet and receiving your varsity leather sweaters. Over the past 15 years, the leather sweaters have kind of gone out of style and become too expensive and have gone away. This year, the Mustang Club got back and provided the M Club with letter plaques for all 80 senior letter winners. And last Tuesday night at the M Club Banquet, the Irish American, we presented these plaques to the kids, and the kids were thrilled with them, and they were unbelievable. Great job done by Joe Barletta, Mission Trophy, but it wouldn't have been possible without the donation of the Mustang Club. I have a letter here from the executive board that I'd like to read to the Mustang Club of Medford. On behalf of the athletes of Medford High School, especially the seniors, we'd like to thank the Mustang Club of Medford for the leather plaques we received last week at the M Club banquet. We're proud of the fact we could represent Medford High School for the past 4 years. The plaques are excellent and will be constant reminders of the time we spent wearing the blue and white. Although our days left at Medford High School are few, the memories will be with us forever. We appreciate this beautiful gift. We'd like to thank all the members of the Mustang Club who made this possible. M Club Executive Board, Aaron Green, Chuck Campobasso, David DeVoe, Justin Laverne, Nicole Russell, Pat Toomey, and Katie Yeager. Thank you.
year's Mustang Club dinner, our first dinner, we had Jim Lee, the former Mustang, as the guest speaker. He came to us from the University of Richmond, where he's the head football coach. His talk was well received. Jim's a highly speaker, a lot of enthusiasm. I talked to him earlier this week and told him that the club was having its annual banquet this week, and he asked that I convey his best wishes to all who are present here tonight. Since last year's event, Coach Reed recruited his first Mustang for his Richmond team. Late this summer, Anthony Chiampoli, who was a lineman in last fall's Mustang, will be heading to the University of Richmond on a full four-year scholarship. I know that Jim will recruit a kid from his hometown from the same high school where he played football, and he's really looking forward to having Tony down there for 4 years. It's a wonderful opportunity for Tony. The University of Richmond is an outstanding school, plays in the Yankee conference, and we should have a real good career down here. So, congratulations to Tony, to his coach Billy Baldini, and hopefully there'll be many more Mustangs heading for Richmond in the future. In our local sports and recreation, have a big supporter in Mayor Mike Pagliarulo. See the mayor as busy as he is at a hockey game or a basketball game or a football game, cheering on the Mustang. However, the mayor does more than cheer for our local teams. He works hard to see to it that they are given the necessary facilities and equipment that are required in order to have a successful program. Through his annual golf tournament, he has raised thousands of dollars that supplement the financing of high school. And during these times of school budget restraints, those funds that he raises are crucial. This past year has seen the mayor come through again by making it possible for Medford High School athletes to have the facilities of an excellent training room. With the support of the council, funds were appropriated to construct and equip a first-class training room at the high school. It's a great addition to the school plant, and it's being enthusiastically utilized by the young athletes. For all the many things that the mayor does for local sports, we thank him. We are pleased that he is with us again here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of the city of Medford, the Honorable Mike Pagliarulo.
Thank you very much, Al. And on behalf of all of the citizens of this fine community, I bring you the greetings of not only the elected officials, but all citizens. First, to all of our recipients, I congratulate you for a job well done and wish you very well in your future endeavors. To all of you in the Mustang Club, I thank you for your continued efforts and support on behalf of the youth of our community. You truly have made a difference. Last year, this year, sold-out banquets. You have brought a group together. You've brought focus on helping to continue to move athletics forward for kids in our community. And for many of these athletes, for many of them, athletics has been the difference between continuing their education and not continuing. And the support that you have given to the program that allows them to compete, that allows them to get scholarship money, in addition to the scholarship money that you yourselves have put up, make the difference between many kids who would ordinarily not be able to afford to go to college and now have that opportunity. So again, let me congratulate all of you for your great efforts. You have my continued support. I'm very proud of the work that you're all doing for the athletes, the students, the young generation in our community, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you very much.
Mustangs and good supporters, good friends, educators who see the value of athletics in the school system. The superintendent of schools, Roy Golson. And the headmaster of Medford High School, Sal Dodaro. Athletic Director, Bud Kelly. We also have with us a number of coaches, assistant coaches, and former coaches who have contributed so much to the success of athletics and to the community. These coaches do more than just coach their sport. They work at it year-round. They follow the kids year-round. Even after they graduate, these kids go back to them for advice and for help, and they always get it. And we're lucky to have people like that working for the city of Medford. At this time, to introduce the guest speaker, I'm going to call on Vice President Davis.
Thank you. Glad to see everybody here tonight. Our guest speaker needs no introduction from the city of Medford. He's made his mark in Medford High School. He's led him in soccer, in baseball. His father, Charlie, his mother, Margaret, still live here in South Medford, while Mike moved to Winchester. Why is that, Mike? He also coaches Little League in Winchester. Why is that? Baseball has been a long career with Mike, playing with the Yankees, the Twins, the Orioles, and Texans. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Medford's finest, one of my great players, Mike Pagliarulo.
I was given this bat. They said I talk better with a bat in my hand. That's why I use this bat to get out of South Medford. I had to speak in front of a lot of different crowds through my journey since high school, and I think this is the most nervous I've ever been. I mean, I see faces that I haven't seen in years. I see Mike Pagliarulo. The first thing that comes to my mind was the time he wouldn't let me in the cage unless I played football. He says, "You're not getting in, stay out in the rain. You're not getting in." I had to stay out in the rain, too. I had to go around, all the way around. I had a big thing planned to say about Medford High School, and, you know, a couple people told me, well, you know, it's just not there as much anymore, and all that other stuff, but, boy, this screws up my whole speech. You know, because this is unbelievable. This is what it's all about right here, this organization. Helping out the high school kids, helping out who I think the people that need it most are the kids in middle school, junior high, stuff like that. I think that this organization is unbelievable, and it's a great job. You're doing a great job. I'm lucky enough to sit today with next to the headmaster, Mr. Tadaro, who's one of my neighbors. I just got back from Florida, and I got a funny story about Mr. Tadaro. He's Mr. Naples, and those days that he said he doesn't come in on Thursdays and Fridays and feel good, they have these excursions. I got on to Naples, you know, unbelievable, for about $200. He took me out there in Naples one day to this restaurant, and this is a funny story. He's a big shooter down there. We go to one of these bistros on 5th Ave in Naples, old Naples, and we walk in here, and he tells the lady, he says, "Bring me my stuff." He wanted Long Island duck or something like that. So the guy brings out the plate, and he opens the plate, and he turns his duck around. He bends the duck over, and he starts rubbing the back of the duck. And he says, "You idiot, this is Massachusetts duck." He says, "Go back here and bring me some Long Island duck." So the guy goes back, he comes back again with another duck. He turns it over, he starts rubbing his backside. He goes, "You idiot, this is Connecticut duck. What's the matter with you?" So he goes back in here, he brings the duck back again. He says, "Mr. Tadaro, I'm sorry, here's your duck." And he goes over there and he says, "Finally." He says, after he bends over and rubs his backside, he says, "This is finally what I need, a Long Island duck." He says, "You moron. Where the hell are you from?" The guy turns around, bends over, and says, "Rub this." Tell me. Mr. And I think you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. You have to find out what it is, how you get it, and how you keep it. I think knowing what it is, it's right here in this room. I think if we could let all the kids in Medford feel this and see this, they would have a greater appreciation for the athletics, the school itself, for the people that played here. I was lucky enough to be taught by my family. I had uncles that took me to high school basketball games before I was in high school. I had a cousin who played on the football team. I would go watch Medford High School, and all these guys playing at Medford High School. And I was looking forward to going to Medford High. And some of these kids now, they don't look forward to go there. I think that we have to, exploit some of these championships, some of these great events that we've had. I mean, I remember my dad telling me about the so-called $1 million infield, about the great teams in the 60s, the great football teams. Some of my idols when I went to high school, Terry Lee and Kevin Cuniff. I saw Dana Crest was here tonight. I don't know what the heck he is. I always wanted to be the size of Dana Crest, you know, 6'4". I don't know if I want to be your size now, Dana. I don't know. Cuffs, get the cuffs on. This feels very familiar. I've been lucky enough to play for a few teams in the major leagues. Some teams with some great tradition. I played for the Yankees when I was in the minor leagues, just like I kind of compare it to this situation where our kids are in junior high. I was in the minor leagues. I was always taught about the great Yankee tradition. When I went to the Yankees in old timer day, I was sitting in my locker. Joe DiMaggio would be in my locker, share my locker, and he would talk to me and say my first name, and I couldn't believe he even knew my name. Mickey Mantle would pull me over and talk about hitting. At the Hall of Fame games, Ted Williams would talk to me and would recognize me. It's unbelievable how this tradition in baseball with certain teams continues, and they still have it. Well, this is the same kind of an organization. You have the front office right here. You have the high school, which is the team, basically. And you have the minor league, which is the junior high. And I think it's being taught the right way. I think this organization is, you should be very proud, and I'm very proud to be part of this whole program. Even teams that are just starting out, Texas is just starting out, they put bronze statues of Nolan Ryan everywhere. I'm sick of the guy's face now, but I mean, they're starting a tradition. And this city has so much great tradition and so much to offer to the kids that they don't realize. And we almost have to shove it down their throats sometimes. I mean, I heard about the alumni game today. I'm going to start taking BPs. So Mr. Medford, if I can use them cages sometime this week, the high school is really lucky to have guys like Matitol, to have Dave Polcari, to have Fred Knox, and the great players that have played there in the past. The alumni soccer game, you're going to have that. I'm asking to play in that. I want to play in all these games, But, I think this is a great thing. And the honorees should be very proud to be part of this organization, and you should feel very, very lucky. I have one last story. I'm retired now, and in retired life, for those of you who are going to retire, it can be very difficult. It can be very difficult at home. And I was leaving the house the other day, and as I was walking out, the light switch on the wall wasn't working. My wife says, Mike, I think you can fix this light switch. And I said, I have a very important meeting. And actually, I had a 10 o'clock tea all the time, but a very important meeting. I said, I can't fix this. I said, what do I look like? Thomas Edison to you? And she says, no. So I go out, and the phone's near the door. I pick up the phone. It's not working. She goes, do you think you can fix the phone a little bit? I said, look, I got to get out of here. What do I look like, Alexander Graham Bell? I says, I can't do this stuff. I says, I have to leave. And as I'm walking down the driveway, she says, the truck has a little thing under the hood. She says, you think you can fix that? Or just look at it, like, do something. I says, look, what do I look like? Henry Ford? I says, I can't do none of this stuff. I says, I got to get out of here. Well, at my house, we always have these UPS and FedEx guys come up with, I don't know, big catalog packages and stuff, which I don't know anything about. And I guess one of the UPS guys comes in and fixes everything. He does everything in the truck. So I come back later on that day, and I see someone working at the, underneath the truck. I said, what happened? The truck get fixed? He said, yeah, the UPS guy did it. I said, he did everything else too, huh? He said, yeah, the phone and the light. I said, how much it cost? She said, nothing. I said, well, what do you mean nothing? How can it cost nothing? She said, well, he made me an offer. He said, you can make me this big, giant chocolate cake, or you can take me in the room, give me a nice, big, juicy, wet, romantic kiss. I said, what the hell did you do? She goes, girl, like Betty Crocker to you? Retired life. That's it, my 2 jokes. I'm all done. I just wanted to say again that thank you for having me here. I feel very, very honored to be part of this program and to have gone to Medford High School. I know that my dad's very proud. I'm very proud. And you know, I have my nephew in the city, and I'm going to teach him all about this stuff. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great evening.
As I listened to Mike speaking here tonight, I couldn't help but think that prior to Mike making the major leagues, there's been only one other player from Medford to reach that pinnacle. And that, of course, was Billy Banquet of the Red Sox in the 50s. Ironically, Billy Banquet played on the same high school team as Mike's dad, Charlie Pagliarulo. And he mentioned in his talk here the $1 million infield. The $1 million infield was a moniker given to the 1955 Medford High School baseball infield by a scout from the Detroit Tigers. Banquet was a very hot property that year, and Major League scouts were following him during the whole season. It was a great year for Medford High School. They had a good team, and this infield caught the eyes of many scouts. They were amazed at one scout said to me, I've seen good individual infielders, but I've never seen a high school team that has 4 of them at once. At first base, the late Leo Mercantanti, who later signed with St. Louis. At second base was Angelo Morano, who went on to captain the Seton Hall teams. At third base was Richie DiGiacomo, who signed with the Red Sox. And at shortstop was Charlie Pagliarulo, who went on with the Chicago Cubs system, and who had about as strong an arm as I've ever seen. I think his arm was stronger than mine, believe me. So it was good to see Mike here tonight, and it's great to see his father here looking so well. They were a great family, they were a credit to Medford, and we were all proud of them. We in Medford are fortunate to have living among us people who are always doing good things. Whatever the cause, whatever the effort, these are men and women of all ages, from all walks of life, people of various talents who give a great amount of their time and their ability to making things better for the city. Lend a helping hand to people. Such a person as the gentleman who tonight is making the Mustang Club Award presentation to our 40th recipients. Ben Aberbrook has managed to include this club in as many activities, and he's been most instrumental in helping the club organize and often run. Officially, he is the director of the Medford Saving Lives program, and he does a great job at it. But believe me, Ben is constantly being called on to save a lot of activities, a lot of groups, a lot of people who might find themselves in difficulty. Man of much ability, he always responds willingly, works hard, he does a great job, and maybe that's why people call him. It's my privilege to call him again tonight for the award presentation, Mr. Ben Aberbrook.
Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As always, it's a pleasure to address a group of people, particularly this type of group, which represents truly what Medford and the Mustangs are all about. When I joined this organization a year ago as they were organizing, one of the things that caused me to join is the closeness that I would have with the students. the closeness that I've enjoyed for the past 8 years, part of it in my capacity as the Saving Lives Director. And I've had occasion to meet many of you folks when you were in the lower grades, and I brought forth, were directed to your attention, because this Mustang group, as all of us in this hall, as all the citizens in the community, including your families, are very concerned about your futures. You were developed along the lines of 12 years, hard work, dedication, and devotion. And I've witnessed that, and I've read these resumes that you folks have put here. And believe me, never, and I say this very sincerely, never have I come across such wonderful, challenging resumes. It was very difficult for my committee and myself to designate 4 winners, which are 2 more than we had last year. And while I'm saying that, I must remind you that this organization last year gave out 2 awards. But because of your efforts, all of you here, because of your loyalty to the organization and to the word Mustang and the pride that it enjoys, we were able to muster enough money to this year double. It represents just that. It represents what the kids are all about in the lower grades and what the young people are in the older grades as they're coming along, hopefully to go on further in life. And we want to be a part of that. The officers, the members, the coaches, the people that brought you along these 12 years, your wonderful parents and families, are all part of the future that you have. But we leave it in your hands. And we know we're leaving it in good hands because I have the proof positive here. So when anyone says to you, well, Medford doesn't put out kids that go on to Harvard, I'll challenge that anytime, anywhere, under any conditions. You're the very best. We look up to you. And I am delighted this year to be the awards chairman, to be able to present these awards to you. But before I do, and to change the format a little bit, the kinds of people that recommended you were of the highest standards. They have been in the school system for many, many years. They've worked very closely with you. And the end result is the product that they have. And so I'm going to introduce each coach and ask them to say a few words about you because they know you better than I do. But I think before the evening is over, even those that didn't know you beforehand will certainly know you this evening. So I'm going to call upon Mr. Paul Mattertall, Coach Mattertall, and he's going to talk a little bit about Bob Baldessari, who is one of our winners. Coach.
Thank you, Ben. It's an honor to lead off tonight. It's a tribute to this young man that there were 2 of us who were fighting right up to the last minute as who was going to get the honor to come up here and make the presentation. And had to invoke seniority and full rank on Coach Baldini. But it's a testimony to how much both of us really think of this young man. To talk about his play in football. Last year, his football player was a backup quarterback and played a little defense. To be honest, I'm sure a lot of people really doubted whether he could step in and be the starting quarterback this year. Not only did he step in, but he passed for 900 yards, passed for 11 touchdowns, BBL All-Star as a quarterback. He also participated in a quarterback challenge contest that was held at Hormel Stadium that featured 18 of the finest quarterbacks in the whole state of Massachusetts, even a quarterback from the state of Connecticut. He came in 2nd place. He really epitomizes the word perseverance and hard work. As Mike said, he really epitomizes Mustang spirit. One of the other things before we get to baseball that he did that I think speaks volumes about this young man is he has me as a health teacher. And I got involved with a program called Dads Make a Difference. And I asked for volunteers to give up a weekend and spend the whole weekend at the high school and train and ultimately go down and teach this curriculum, which is an outstanding curriculum, to middle school students. And I thought, well, yeah, I'll be lucky if I get 2 or 3 people to come forward. He was the first one to come forward, and a testimony to some of these senior football players. He was one of 7 football players who volunteered for the program. And if you've been watching the news, if you watched Channel 4 last week and Channel 7 this week, I'm sure you saw him. He's done an outstanding job. This is what it's all about, because these are student athletes who are paying back to the community, going down to the middle school, and giving back to the system. Now, as far as baseball, naturally I'm a little partial too. Last year also, he started out as a starter with us, and he lost his starting position. A lot of kids would have packed it in and quit, but he didn't. He sat on the bench, he waited for his chance this year. He was an infielder. When his chance came up this year, I go to him and say, Bob, I'd like you to play the outfield. Position he'd never played before. Didn't complain, went out, worked as hard as he could, and made himself an outstanding outfielder. He's the guy, the blood and guts on our team. We don't run very well. We know we get him on base, he's going to steal us a base. And after every game, I'm sure his mother can pay testimony to this, he has the dirtiest uniform on the team. No doubt about it. We won't talk about him getting picked off today, but he got picked off because he's aggressive. And that's what we needed today. Today was a big day for us. We've been struggling. We're looking to make the tournament. We're running out of chances to do it, and we did it today. We did it today. Because he comes up in the 6th inning, we're down 2 runs, we get a run. I ask him to punt. Well, he gets 2 strikes on him, he looks over, he probably thought I was crazy, but I kept the punt on. But I knew he could do it, and he did. And we scored that run, and it set up the next inning. We could come from behind and win. And in that last inning, when we won the ball game, he got a key double in that inning. Another thing that speaks to his character, we have practice at 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings. Not real popular with 18-year-old high school players. These guys show up, and they look like they've just dragged themselves out of bed. Bobby always comes, and he's always late for Saturday morning practice. The reason he's late for Saturday morning practice is because he's been at the high school since 7 o'clock in the morning, working to prepare himself for the AP calculus exam. And that's the kind of kid he is. He's going to go on to Norwich University. He's looking for a career in the military. And I know, as Coach Baldini and I both say, we know that he's going to be a success. It's a great deal of pleasure that I present to you, Bob Baldessari.
Coach, come forward. I'd like to have you come in on the picture, please. Coach Baldini. See, I ought to stand on a chair next to these guys. Wow. I just want to say one thing before you flash that, if I may. This is typical of what I mean when I talk about Mustang pride. 2 outstanding coaches with an outstanding young man who's going to go all the way with it. So I thank him, and I want his family to stand and take a bow. Where are you? Where is he? I want to call you back for the big thing here. I was going to tell you it's in the mail. You gave it them? Okay. The check is not in the mail. It's in your hands, I think. Okay. The next gentleman that'll come forth is another one who is very familiar with the next person who's going to receive our award. So I'd like Ralph Morata to come forward on behalf of Brian Benedict.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to be here. tennis and was the captain of the team this year, and last year an all-star. He's a track man, an all-star this year, captain, undefeated in the 600-yard dash, and he's a 4-year soccer player, this year a captain, last year a member of a championship team. And when I think of this young man, I think of the character that it takes to lead a team through what we had this year, which was a fairly difficult season on the field. This young man kept the team together. He kept us focused. He was excellent with the younger players, and he surely exhibited every instance that I was in contact with him, the Mustang pride that we're so proud of and that we want to instill in our young people. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Brian Benedict. I failed to mention, should mention, Brian will be, is also in the National Honor Society, has an outstanding academic record. He's in the band and in the orchestra, and he will be attending Merrimack College in the fall. Will the Benedict family kindly rise? Now we go into the fairest section.
And we introduce to you at this time Mr. Coach Ernie Adelino, who will speak on behalf of Linda Schuler.
I just sit through listening to Mr. Maritone talk again. Outstanding, wasn't it? And then I got to follow a Harvard grad. Right? Well, I'm not going to talk too much about academics because I think the reason they're here is because these kids are very healthy in academics. I want to talk about a young lady who's played for me for 3 years in the program, for 4 years. And the program says 3 years, but she came halfway through her freshman year and joined the varsity for a few games. And in those 3 years, at the end of the season, we always entered the tournament, basketball tournament in Massachusetts. This year, Linda being a captain, 2 other fine young ladies, we had a pretty rough season. But you know, as a coach, I felt as though this season was such a learning process amongst my players. I think if you have all these qualities as far as being academically sound, if you don't have the leadership qualities, the integrity qualities, and the qualities to pick yourself up and go after something else, then, you know, everything else doesn't count. Linda, not only, Linda, would you stand up just 1 minute, please? Just stand up. Linda and I, one day at practice, we were standing there and we were looking at everybody. And I got everybody together and I said, you know, girls, we do have a problem this year. And they all looked at me and said, Coach, what's the problem? I says, because here we are, we're all standing together, and I'm the tallest person. I mean, I'm 5'6", and that's stretching, you know. So, during the season, we took our lumps. You know, we only won 4 games. First time in 18 years that I myself as a coach haven't been in the tournament, which means nothing, but the first time that this young lady wasn't in the tournament. And they handled it like real troopers. And this young lady here, the night we played Revere in the senior night, I can't tell you how well she played. And she was a terror off the boards at about 5'4" maybe, I'm not sure. She had like 15 rebounds. She had 19 points. She had 15 foul shots. I mean, they didn't even want to play anymore. You know, she was just beating them all up, you know. But she is a great leader. In the M Club Banquet, she was the winner of the Angel Tourist Award, which is given out for integrity, character, and leadership. And this is just what this young lady shows. She'll be attending UMass Amherst this fall. She's a great person. I'm going to miss her, as I miss all of my former athletes. But Linda gives me a little something special. She's just one great kid. I want to introduce you now to Linda Chu. Mom is right there, and a great person.
I failed to read to you the award, which incidentally is accompanied by a $500 stipend. Can't go very far these days, and I understand all that. But maybe one day, if we can beat the drugs and we can beat the alcohol, and we don't have to spend all that precious money on that, we can put it where it rightfully belongs, in education. All of these recognition awards say the following. Mustang Club of Medford, May 21st, 1997. In recognition of the outstanding Mustang pride that you have displayed as a student athlete at Medford High School, this award is presented to, and then the names. We wish you continued success in the future and hope that you will always remember the importance of Mustang pride. And it's signed by me, Ben Abbott, Chairman, Peter R. Davis, and Craig Fallon, and George Thurot, who is president of the Mustang Club of Medford. I'd like you to acknowledge those people for the fine work they've done. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to bring back Coach Mark Smith, who will speak on behalf of the last recipient, Katie Yeager.
Pinch hitting here tonight. I wasn't lucky enough to coach Katie during her 4 years at Medford High School, but I did have a brother a couple of years ago, and I've known her. She's worked as a lifeguard for me the last couple of summers up at Wrights Pond. Is coming back again this summer. She's also been one of the executive board members who helped put the Club Banquet together, and I've known her around school for the last 4 years. She's a three-sport athlete at Medford High School. She played in the soccer program all 4 years. This year they made it back to the state tournament. She's also on the softball team, which either qualified today or is about to qualify for the state tournament. And her number one sport is swimming, where she was the captain of the team this year, qualified for the state tournament. And during her swimming career at Medford High School, it hasn't been easy. She was on the swim team when we didn't have a pool. And then practices at Malden High School, and practices at Tufts University, and practicing any place they could get a pool at any time. It was night practices and morning practices. And she made the commitment to go wherever it was supposed to be and made herself an unbelievable swimmer. And next year, she made another great decision. She's going to Tufts University, where she'll be swimming for Tufts University next year. She's in the National Honor Society. She's president of the ski club. She's on the prom committee. She's on just about every committee there is up at Medford High School. Last week at the Club Banquet, she was awarded the Lindy Saragosa Award as the Outstanding Female Athlete at Medford High School. It's truly an honor for me to stand here to give this young lady this award she truly deserves, Katie Yeager.
Will the Yeager folks stand up, please? Once again, I thank you for your attentiveness. I thank you on behalf of the faculty, the wonderful people that represent them as coaches. Superintendent Roy Belson, we thank him for all of his efforts. Mayor McGlynn, and each and every one of you. And truly, you can help us a lot. If you haven't joined, we invite you to do so. That's your contribution to your children for the future. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Ben. They were terrific recipients. The award group did a terrific job of narrowing the field of four candidates. This came up with four excellent candidates. We now come to a very interesting part of our program. We're going to give things away. Joe Malone, there's nothing on this for you guys. Tim Brennan and Billy Cox Sr.
Obviously, tonight, with this much going on, this scope can't be done without the help of many. People like Peter Davis, Frank Pagliarulo, and Marty Murphy, Larry Murphy, Tim Brennan, Bill Carr, Joe Fortunato, all the people that are here. We thank you. The only reason why we're here is because of your support. I'd like now to give a little token of appreciation to Mike Pagliarulo, being our guest speaker, and helping show the way when it comes to what Mustang Pride is all about. Mike, if you would. What this plaque says is the second annual Mustang Club of Medford awards dinner presented to Mike Pagliarulo in appreciation of outstanding contributions to the ideals of Mustang Pride, loyalty, integrity, and dedication, with gratitude to our guest speaker, May 21st, 1997. And because we know you're a married man, and now that you're retired, we also figured you're worthy of one of our Mustang blankets. I was told to make sure to mention that these Mustang blankets are available. Again, I thank all of you for your presence, thank all of you for your support, and most of all, Mike, really appreciate the effort you put in, and all Americans proud to know that Mike Pagliarulo played in Major Leagues for a lot of years. You did us well, Michael. Thank you.
Once again, the annual Mustang Banquet was a fantastic success. I'd like to say congratulations to Bob Baldessari, Brian Benedict, Linda Shula, and Katie Yeager for winning the awards this year. And I have to say it's been an extreme pleasure meeting you. This is Mike Pagliarulo, and of course you played with the Yankees. Who else did you play with?
Well, I played with San Diego and Minnesota Twins, where we won the World Series in '91.
That's all.
And Texas, and I even played 1 year in Japan, and it's been a great journey.
Was Japan good?
It was far, very far.
I heard they charge like $5 for an orange.
An apple, usually it's an apple.
Okay, apples, oranges, it's all the same to me.
You got to make friends with the Army over there so they can get you off the island real quick.
There you go. Listen, I wanted to ask you, how did you enjoy tonight, and how did this all come about? Who contacted you?
Well, Mr. Carr did. I also talked to Paul Matitol at the high school, and there's a great bunch of people over there. They do a real nice job, and they said they needed some help getting the spirit going in Medford and all this stuff. Doesn't look like they need any help from me because it looks great. This was a great evening.
You had a good time?
Yeah.
You saw some old friends.
Yeah, scary. Bring them skeletons out the closet. That's not good.
Well, listen, great success. I know you're coaching kids over in Winchester now?
Yeah, my son is 10 years old, and that's...
10 years old?
It makes me sound old, huh? That's not good. But I'm enjoying that and having some extra time with my kids.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your speaking tonight and on your 10-year-old child, and much success over in Winchester, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you very much.